The 22-year-old, when he's going, the Nuggets are flowing. You see the field goal percentage in the wins. You see the points up above 23 when they win in the postseason. This is a guy, like you said, Ryan, he Game 7, Greg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs last week. And now look at him, his team down 2-1 in this series, scoring the big buckets.
And he's not afraid of the moment, Chris. He came up in the Canadian basketball system playing for their junior national teams. He played at Kentucky as a one-and-done player. He was a lottery pick. So despite the fact he's only 22 years old, he has great basketball experience, and he also has a lot of confidence with the game on the line.
Here's Mike Malone, quick to the podium.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Wait for the mic.
For the Blazers in these kinds of games in the playoffs, there's just been some magical stuff happen. You know that. You were on the wrong end of it the other night. How do you keep that out of the back of your mind as you're trying to hang on and you know what's happened here lately and you've got a young team? Like, just take us through what you were thinking in those closing moments.
You know, so proud of our group and the closing moments. I really was confident, you know, because close games this year, we were 13-3. Games decided by 3 points or less, best record in the NBA. We were 12-1 in second nights of back-to-back, best record in the NBA. Our guys are tough. We're resilient. I mean, to come in here and win this game 36 hours after losing in 4 overtimes speaks to just how tough we are. You know, I wasn't worried. We had a starting group out there. Jamal Murray, I thought was phenomenal tonight, and goes 11 of 11 from the foul line. Hostile environment, and really the series kind of hanging in the balance. You know, you go down 1-3, we all know how that story ends. So, you know, I think the confidence of doing the same thing in the first round against San Antonio helped us. But our guys stepped up. We're never afraid. We stayed together. And I can't speak enough about the resiliency and toughness of our team.
Coach Harrison, when BS in Denver, you just spoke about this a little bit, but especially with the injuries Jamal's battled through this series and really the entire playoffs, and how he's gone toe-to-toe with Damian Lillard here over the last few games, just what has that shown you about him?
Yeah, it shows you that Jamal Murray's got a tremendous amount of grit, toughness, and I know I use those words all the time, but I think it really applies to our group. You think about how young we are and what we're doing, you know, going on the road and winning a tough Game 4 in a hostile environment. And for Jamal to be the centerpiece of that has been phenomenal. You know, this is our 11th playoff game, and our wins, Jamal Murray's stats are off the charts. And, you know, if you're a Denver Nugget fan, you know, how excited are you about this team now? But more importantly, how excited are you about our future? You know, we have a chance to be a really good team for many, many years, and Jamal is going to be a really big part of that.
Down the stretch right here. Down the stretch, last 2 minutes roughly, Joker makes like 4 assists in a row. Number one, what does that say about him not only being the man for you, but trusting his teammates? And number two, what was your thoughts when he limps over to the bench?
The first question, Nikola Jokic is a great player because you know why? He makes every one of his teammates better. He raises their level of play. He finds the open man. He doesn't force it, and he's just so unselfish, and his IQ is off the charts. So that is just another example where he's not forcing it. He's making the right play. And that's what I love about him. He's a basketball purist, if you will. He's always going to make the right play. He's drawing a crowd. He finds the open man. Will Barton's threes tonight were really, really impactful. The confidence that we talked about prior to Game 4 carried over into tonight, and I thought he was really instrumental in this win. When I saw him limping to the sideline, yes, your heart skips a beat. You know, Nikola is, you know, he's the face of our franchise. But he just got kneed. It was nothing serious, and we were able to hold on for the win. But, you know, this series, just like San Antonio, there's a lot of basketball to be played. But to get this win, you know, what a great feeling, especially after that low of losing a 4 overtime game just 36 hours ago.
To your right, Coach.
Yesterday, you talked about how it's almost more important to bounce back and take care of them mentally as well as physically. When along this game did you realize these guys were good, they'd bounce back, everything was all right?
How we started the game. You know, I loved how the first 6 minutes of the first quarter we came out. Their crowd was ready to go, but we came out and played really solid basketball on both ends. The end of that first quarter, they went on a run and took the lead, but I could tell right away, and I had no doubts. I'm not just saying this after the fact. When you've been around this team for as many games as I have been this year, and you've seen them bounce back time and time and time again in hostile environments when their backs are against the wall, you know, you believe. And I think not only do I believe in them, they believe in each other, and they all have each other's backs, and that's why we're such a connected, selfless group. But I knew right away that we were going to be ready to go, and you know, that speaks to our guys' maturity and understanding what was at stake tonight.
So obviously this worked out for you, but at one point, Will tonight was 2 of 11 or 2 of 12, and you rode him down the stretch. Why did you do that?
Well, I just felt, you know, Torrey Craig is starting in place of Will Barton. I thought Torrey was, he didn't have the usual Torrey Craig defensive game, and they were scoring on him a little bit. And if Torrey was going to struggle on defense, well, I might as well get Will out there. And that's no disrespect to Torrey Craig. Torrey's been phenomenal for us. But in the back of my mind, I also was remembering Game 3 and the confidence that Will Barton played with. You know, he played here in this city. He knows their players, and I know how much this series means to him personally as an individual. So you know, I just wanted to throw him out there and stay with him. I think, you know, if you as a coach are pulling guys after a missed shot, whatever, and they're looking at the bench, you know, no one can play like that. And I don't coach like that. You know, I want our guys to go out there and play, and if you make a mistake, make it an aggressive mistake. If you miss a shot, make sure it's a good shot. And I think our guys respond well to that. But, you know, Will was good for us down the stretch on both ends of the floor, and hopefully that continues throughout the rest of these games.
Third row, right side.
Royce Young, ESPN. Michael, Lillard had 28 tonight, and he scored throughout the series, but he hasn't had the same kind of impactful moments, it seems, that he did in the previous series. What have you guys done to kind of take away those big momentum plays that Dame's so good at?
Well, you know, in that first round, he averaged 33 a game. I think he hit 8 threes that were 30 feet or more away from the basket. And I give our coaching staff, you know, Wes Unseld, you know, who's lead assistant, also our defensive coordinator, the preparation that we put into it, and learning all the things that gave OKC trouble. Their pickup points, their bigs not being up, not being into the ball, letting him reject. He had a lot of open space in that series, we felt, and that's not a knock on OKC. We just wanted to be a little bit better, and we didn't want him getting 33 a night. And so tonight, yes, he scores 28, but he goes 9 of 22 from the field and only 2 of 7 from 3. But this is carryover. I mean, if you look at our 4 regular season meetings, we did a really good job of guarding him then. So our players have confidence in that. We have confidence in guarding CJ, and you know we haven't done anything yet. It's a tied series. We've taken home court advantage back, but you know Dame is capable of putting up 40 and 50 in a heartbeat. So by no means are we thinking that we figured him out. It's just going out there and doing it for 48 minutes because he keeps on coming at you, and our guys have really responded well to that.
Last question, left side.
Mike Singer, Denver Post. You always say Jamal plays best when he's emotional. Why do you think that unlocks the best in him?
You know, because that's who he is. You know, when he tries to play just a low-key, you know, non-emotional game, I think he's just an average player. You know, and a lot of guys can't play with emotion. You know, being in the league for 18 years, some guys, they get too emotional and they get out of control. When Jamal plays with that emotion, that fire, that passion, that brings out the best in Jamal Murray. And, you know, he was fantastic. I mean, come on the road, first time going through the playoffs, 34 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 11-11 from the foul line. You know, that kid has grown up in front of us. I mean, and Nikola's been the talk of the playoffs for us, rightfully so. He has another triple-double tonight. But, you know, Jamal Murray's not far behind. I mean, in our 6 playoff wins, he has been a complete stud. And that's going to need to continue in these next 3 games. Appreciate it, everybody.
Heard Mike Malone mention Nikola Jokic and the incredible performance. Another triple-double for him. That's 4 so far in this postseason. 21 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists. Let's get to how he got there, though. 4 assists late there in the fourth quarter, creating shots for other. You heard Mike Malone say he's making everyone better. And these are clutch passes, Ryan.
And we've been talking all day, Chris, about great playoff performers in this year's playoffs. You have guys like Kawhi, you have guys like Kevin Durant, Giannis, but let's not forget about what Nikola Jokic is doing. He's off to one of the best starts in NBA history in terms of a player starting his playoff career. And I didn't even notice till recently he had a triple-double. That seems to be the norm for him. He's putting passes on the money and on target, including the big one to Gary Harris late for an and one that helped Denver seal the game.
Yeah, Magic Johnson, the only player in his first postseason with more triple-doubles than Nikola Jokic. Remember when Magic did that year, won a championship his rookie season? I know you know that, Smitty.
Yeah, what I also like is you saw in the regular season he had some games where he had some huge assist numbers, but then his lack of scoring would come in when we would talk about where is his scoring. But in his playoffs, he's putting it all together. He's drawing double teams. He's being physical. He's getting to the free throw line. He's still rebounding and still putting pressure by scoring big numbers. So, like Ryan said, we got to start talking about him as one of the best performers in the playoffs right now, and they're winning. They have a chance to win this series.
Well, the thing that's tough for teams, he's so skilled, and when you move him out to that high post, most big guys who are defending him are uncomfortable being that far away from the basket. They're used to contact and banging and pushing. They're not used to a guy out there free-flowing, DHOs, throwing people open. The thing that I like about him, his passes are so precise. Even if the defense is there, if they're not watching, if they don't see man and ball, he's going to make their pass because he throws guys open.